Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright folks, so I gotta tell you, it's been a while since we did a video like this. It's time to lock and load the rapid fire cannon. Yeah, it's RFC Democrat Delusion Edition. Delusion and paranoia for this video. I got a bunch of clips I've compiled here that all tell the same story. What we are witnessing here is a complete mental breakdown from the Democrat messaging complex. You know, they just can't do it. They just cannot do it. They cannot act like normal frickin' human beings. Everything's gotta be the worst thing ever seen. It's always full-blown panic mode, detached from reality, and now frankly it just seems like they're so desperate, after everything that they've tried over the last couple of months has failed, that they're just kinda saying whatever now. You know, there's no more filter, no logic, just raw, uncut, delusional paranoia. Let's go ahead and take a look, shall we? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here we go again. It's rapid fire cannon day. First off, we've got Democrat Senator Jeff Merkley, who's hitting us with the latest and greatest in Democrat talking point technology, the Donald Trump death toll.
Senator Jeff Merkley here. The estimated death total from Trump's policies is now estimated to be in the multiple millions. A new study published in The Lancet, a highly respected medical journal, estimates that over the next 5 years, as many as an additional 14 million individuals might die because of the sudden cutoff of programs around the world, American programs in nutrition, tuberculosis, malaria, AIDS, and more. These programs have not only been essential to global health, they've been essential to our relationships with countries around the world as a form of enormous soft power. So both because it's the right thing to do for health and wellness, and the right thing to do for America's own security and foreign relations interests, we should restore these programs immediately. The prospect of millions, including 4.5 million children, dying because of the cutoff of these programs is horrific, it's un-American, and we need to reverse it.
Yep. Apparently the US aid cuts will lead to 14 million extra people dying every single year. And the source is, trust me bro, just trust me. Another one of those studies from group of experts tell us that Donald Trump's policies will clog 10 million toilet bowls and cause 100 billion cats to get stuck in trees across the world. I mean, they're just inventing stuff. Where does this stuff even come from? Yeah, apparently now Donald Trump is Thanos, and he's gonna snap his finger and then 14 million people will die. Why? Please explain why. Because they shut down US aid's most ridiculous and useless programs. They didn't shut down the programs that were actually saving lives. Those were absorbed by the State Department. They shut down LGBT funding in Vietnam and other such projects. It's absolute delusion, but the Democrats, of course, are so broken still by losing 2016 that they've turned Donald Trump into some Marvel villain, and now they're making all these claims and it's pure delusion. Not to mention, we should probably have the conversation. Is it really the American taxpayer's job to continue plundering their wealth to solve everybody else's problems? I mean, that's a philosophical question I'd like to ask. But anyways, this notion that experts are declaring that 14 million people will die now thanks to what happened with US aid, complete and utter nonsense. But of course, speaking of complete and utter leftist nonsense, that's everything in this video. Let's move to the next video, or the next clip rather. This one's an oldie but a goodie, and it just never goes away. And boy oh boy is it embarrassing.
I wasn't actually going to respond to any of these comments because I know they're not being asked in good faith. But because so many of you have requested specific examples, I decided I'd give you a couple. But before I do that, I want to acknowledge the fact that just because you and people in your immediate circle aren't feeling the negative consequences of these laws being removed or reversed does not mean it's not bad. Any right being removed that causes a negative effect for any human being that is living in the United States is a problem. Period. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'll give you a few examples of rights that have been taken away. Let's start with the right to due process. What about birthright citizenship? What about women's rights to reproductive health care? What about civil rights for members of the LGBTQ+ community? What about the rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion policies? I personally think those are all super important.
Donald Trump is taking away all my rights. And then the individual goes on to list literally not even a single right. It's so dumb. It's just dumb. What do you want me to tell you? Donald Trump is doing things that I disagree with politically. I have different policy stances and priorities, and just the simple fact that Donald Trump is doing things that I don't like, well, that equates to Donald Trump taking my rights away. That's not the way the world works. That's not adult thinking. And then, of course, there's the underlying hypocrisy. I mean, we all remember not so long ago, Biden's little illegal censorship regime, right? Or what about Obama weaponizing the IRS? What about the lockdowns and the forced mandates? I'll tell you, projection is one hell of a drug. These people cried muff fascism for years, but then they had absolutely no hesitation attempting to deplatform people, jailing pro-life grandmas, censoring memes, attempting to put the president of the United States in prison. Yet here they are trying to tell us about losing their rights. The only thing you people are losing are your minds. And speaking of losing your damn mind, we've got Jim Acosta 2.0 here. I don't exactly know who this guy is, but apparently he works for, what was it, CBS, MSNBC? Anyways, one of those garbage outlets. But I present to you the Woe Is Me journalist.
For those of us there, it was such a horror because you saw an emerging America. And it wasn't the shooting, Chuck. I got diagnosed with PTSD within 48 hours. I got put on trauma leave, not because I think of the shooting, but because you saw it in the eyes, the reaction of the people. They were coming for us. If he didn't jump up with his fist, they were going to come.
I know.
This guy's talking about being diagnosed with PTSD, not after coming back from Vietnam in the 1970s, not even after personally suffering anything. No, after Donald Trump got shot in the ear. He wants you to think that he was the victim because people were making the claim that mainstream media rhetoric might have contributed to it. First of all, if opinions on the internet give you PTSD, seek frickin' help. Or just honestly, go move in a frickin' cabin in the middle of nowhere and remove yourself from everyday society because clearly you cannot cope. And secondly, the people were right. You're not this victim for facing rightful, legitimate criticism. You absolute clowns in the media demonized him every single day as Hitler and promoted people who openly called for violence against the president. You encouraged and ran cover for political violence, and now you have the nerve to cry as if you're the victim here when very clearly the current president who almost got assassinated during the election season, he was the real victim. He's the one who has a justifiable claim to having suffered PTSD. Holy frickin' moly. And listen, I know it's tough. The brain rot is tough to deal with. It's frustrating. These people are dense as crystallized carbon. And speaking of notably high density, we've got Prince Harry.
You say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Wah.
The official author of Wah. Prince Harry hits us with a gem during his NATO visit. Not exactly sure why this guy is giving a speech, to be completely honest with you. Just seems like privilege and nepotism, but here we go. Getting lectured to by Prince Harry himself, the most legendary soy boy to ever hit the airwaves.
How many of us feel battered, helpless, in the face of the seemingly endless stream of disasters and devastation? I understand. This has been a painful year in a painful decade. We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe. Climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all. The few weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of the many. And from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back of constitutional rights here in the United States, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom.
Quote, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom. Oh, I'm so tired of this. And what do you think that is? What do you think he meant by that? He meant Donald Trump is attacking our democracy. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Prince Harry is right. But as per usual, like most leftoids, he's right for all the wrong reasons. You know, there is a global assault on democracy and freedom, except it's not coming from Donald Trump. It's coming from little Prince Harry and his elite globalist ilk. You know, the same ones that are trying to pass draconian speech laws, the same ones taking over court systems and putting in place these prosecutors and judges who are enabling lawlessness and illegal activity, the same people who are violating Western sovereignty and enabling this illegal migration crisis across the Western world. You want to talk about democracy, you want to talk about freedom. I mean, Prince Harry, you are, in a way, the face of the assault on those principles. Just more Democrats saying absolutely insane stuff. In other words, it's just another day. Anyways, that's pretty much what what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.